sharing session organized by Global Institute of Management Sciences. I also extend a warm welcome to our principal, Dr. Geeta M. Rajaram ma'am. We are glad to share that this is the fourth webinar that we are organizing. The first one was on impact of COVID-19 on the Indian economy, reviewing RBI measures by our beloved principal, Dr. Geeta M. Rajaram. Second one being cybersecurity in the new age and career opportunities by Mr. Sheikh Ahmed, General Manager at Renault Nissan. Third being sales and distribution strategies adopted in developing countries with special reference to SAARC nations by Mr. Raja Sandar, who is the General Manager Sales at Ledvance India. And today, the fourth being on decoding data science for decision makers by Mr. Baston Robbins. A man who believes in simplicity is our speaker for the day. Mr. Baston Robbins has completed his bachelor's in engineering from Aditya Institute of Technology and is currently working as the head of data science and AI at Clever Insight. With over a decade of experience and with certifications in computer networks, artificial intelligence, data structure, just to name a few, I'm sure you will have a good takeaway from this webinar. Now I request Mr. Baston Robbins to take over the session.
Thank you, madam. I feel I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So today's topic, we're just going to discuss about decoding data science for decision makers. So before this webinar starts, let me inform you a couple of things. So I will take up the questions at the last. And number two is if you have anyone has been unmuted, kindly mute it. So it will be seamless. And third one is once the webinar gets over, you will be given a feedback form. Based on that, we distribute certificates. So kindly make sure that you get the link at the end of this webinar. In case if there is any kind of network disturbance, ultimately we will be rejoining it. So do be on live, fine? So the topic here, which I'm going to more focus on, is on how data science can be used for the decision makers. You may be, so we know that very well, data becomes a fundamental element of all the business at the present day scenario. And from a thumb rule based approach, we have moved towards more of a data centric approach. So you can see all the technologies which is evolving around you is some or the other way is completely driven by data, right? So according to all the data scientists, there is one common thing which we always follow, that is data is there since our beginning, but no one has asked questions to the data. So if you ask the right questions to the data will tell a story. So that is what is more of data science. So let's just get into the basic about the data thing, whatever I'm talking about, like a lot of data we are talking. So we should understand data is about two types of data. That is, one is structured data and another is unstructured data. So structured data, just take it like your Excel, your spreadsheets and your databases. All these things have a structure in it. So these type of data are structured data. And unstructured data, you can see your audio, video, and web pages and logs. All these things are unstructured data. So why I just brought this particular thing into picture is when we are talking about data, we should visualize what kind of data we are talking about. Just blindly, if I'm saying about Hadoop and all these kinds of advanced frameworks, it will directly make you more confused. So let's visualize throughout the session what I'm talking. So data means nothing big. It is about your regular data, whichever form it is. whether you a data which is in your mobile phone or the data which you use in your spreadsheets or your emails or anything else. Everything is a data. It is either structured or unstructured data. So when you enter into data science domain, first thing you need to ask, there is a framework called what, why, and how. So what means data is the basic. We are seeing the data since the the modern era started. Like you can see banks, you can see insurance companies, you can see transportation, logistic. All these people, when they get into software domains and when they started using softwares in their own domains, they started to generate a lot of data. The data which has been generated till now, it's in terabytes or it's more than that across different organizations. But till now, these data were only used for the purpose of reference. Reference in the sense like, okay, today, if you go to a bank and you ask, like, I want to know what was my transaction, one specific transaction on that particular day or that particular year, they will be able to take it from the archives and just show it to you. Till now, only this much was the usage of data we were having. So we were having a pile of data, but we were not knowing what to do with it. Then comes the most important point. That is like, can I, what to say, can I increase the responsiveness of the customer? Can I see which product sells higher, which is not selling higher? Can I see how is customer behavior based on his complete transactions? And can I better effectively target a marketing campaign for one type of audience or another type of audience? Or based on all this data, can I understand what people are really looking into my organization? Likewise, the questions are like a plethora of questions comes. But the thing is, like, still the data becomes the base on which you have to ask these questions. So let's see how. That is where the data science comes in. You have huge amount of data and you have a lot of questions to ask, but you don't have the ability to ask the right question to the data. So that's exact phase where data science comes into the picture. Before that, you could have heard about business intelligence, likewise different types of things were there. But after data comes into the picture, the most important thing which we need is like, can I make data science as the parent branch, just like any other subjects? And under that, business intelligence, data science, data analytics, machine learning, deep learning, all this thing comes as a sub branch. So data science is like a new subject under which all these things are new branches. So how to become a good data scientist? So it's nothing but it's a combination. You can see in this particular visual, combination of three things: computer science, mathematics and statistics, and business domain knowledge. When the three of them equally contributed, then the data scientist role comes in. Now, till now, I spoke about basic about data science and how data science has been used and all these things. Now let's see. Let me take a simple metaphor. In this data science, we call it as phases of analytics. I mean, like, there are different phases. Once you understand that particular flow correctly, ultimately you will be able to understand this particular talk much better. So let's take a metaphor, like you're going to a doctor. So you're going to a doctor for consultation. In this particular consultation phase, the doctor will ask you for your symptoms and your last blood sugar and cholesterol levels and which medicine you took. Like this, he will ask n number of questions which is related to past of yours. So in that particular phase, he's trying to gather all historical data from you. That particular phase is called descriptive phase. Fine. And after that particular phase, next phase which comes is the doctor will ask you, okay, just go and finish these blood tests and cholesterol level checkup and all these extra checkups they will ask you to conduct. In that particular phase, you are handling a data which is real time. That is, at present, what is the symptoms? What is the level of sugar and cholesterol, etc. and all. At present, they are asking. It's in real time. This particular phase is called diagnostic phase. And based on the past and present, now the doctor thinks, okay, your blood sugar and cholesterol level was higher last week. Yesterday it was like this. Today it was like that. So there are chances in upcoming days it can hike up, or it can shoot up, or it can come down. Now, based on this three understanding, the doctor is able to predict a future. That particular phase, which is focused on understanding what can happen to you, is called predictive analytics phase. So you understood like past, present, and future. Descriptive phase, diagnostic phase, and predictive phase we have understood. After these three phases, the doctor will take a prescription pad and write a medicine like take this particular tablet morning and evening, or this particular syrup afternoon. So he prescribes that. This is where all the analysis becomes an action. That an action in the sense, a doctor understands all the data about your past, present, and what can happen to you tomorrow, and he prescribes a medicine. This is where the most important part of data science lies. It's in the present day scenario, up to 70 to 80 percentage, the first three phases, past, present, and future, are automatable. But the action phase, the prescriptive phase, is the one which cannot be automated because that requires domain knowledge. Now, this particular example talks about a healthcare system. There, a doctor knows better about healthcare. Likewise, if you go to a transportation, a person who is the head of that particular transportation department, they knows that particular data better. If you take education, the principal of the organization or the staffs knows that particular department well. So likewise, you understood that data science is not about first three, it is about the fourth one. That is like you know the data and the domain knowledge better. It's not like you learn all the technologies and go and become a data scientist. It's about you learn about one domain stronger and you prescribe any kind of analysis on based on that particular domain. So now we have understood this. Let's take one very typical phases like prescriptive, predictive, future, all these things we have seen. Now let's see, in the modern day scenario, there are a lot of people talking about machine learning and deep learning. So let's see what is actually that is. I hope most of people know about Titanic. So Titanic was a ship which was sunk in an ocean, which hit Arctic, and it broke. A lot of people who were there in the ship died. So this is one typical use case which is known across most of machine learning communities. That is like they were having data about each passenger in the ship. So you can see here, there is an ID column which is representing their unique unique identifier. Name is their identifier. Now there is one discrete value called age. Next, a categorical variable called gender, and another column called survived or not. So this was a record from Titanic incident where all the passengers name list was given, and based on this particular list, we were able to see whether how many people have survived or not. So when you run any prediction, for example, if I want to predict the survived category, I mean like survived column, that is a categorical variable. So it's a classification problem. If it is anything like temperature, any continuous variable, that means any float variable, that is a regression. So keep it in mind very clearly. Classification algorithms are used to predict any class like male or female, survived or not, age, etc. Age is a discrete variable, so you can predict that. Now, if you want to predict anything which is continuous variable, like a column which is having temperature, humidity, like that, it's a continuous variable, then it is a regression. So when this particular data was used to predict, most of machine learning engineers were able to get only 70% accuracy. So how means you can see that row number 6 and 7 is having a empty value. That means we need to predict those two. So most of people, when they try to build their advanced machine learning models and all these things to predict that particular two values, the accuracy was only 70%. So how a prediction model works? A prediction model, you can consider it as a baby, a newborn baby. So consider your the mother of the baby is telling the kid, okay, today it is outside is raining and it is fully water in this place. You cannot go to play. So tomorrow again, rain comes, road is full of swampy, so don't go to play. So next day it comes, it is slightish rain, road is not swampy, you can go and play. Now fourth day, it is hot summer. Now the mother is telling like, okay, now you can go and play, because so every day whatever you teach to the kid, kid learns it. So next day when mother is not there, the kid will look into the climate and see whether roads are swampy, and it take a decision whether to go to play or not. This is how a prediction model works. In the prediction model, teach a kid with 70% of knowledge and ask, it's like you teach the kid with 70% of knowledge and telling that if these are the condition come, take yes or no. And now after the kid is learning 70%, now again you're asking few questions and see whether they are able to predict correct. So this is how a prediction model works. So similar way, in this challenge, people started using predictive model to predict whether the survival can be predicted. So 70% was there. Then came a data scientist where they added a new column into it. Now you can see that when your prediction model is not performing well, there are a couple of ways you can increase the accuracy. That means you need to add more data, more variables into it, more decision-making variables into it, and see whether the prediction is correct or not. So here what happens is, like one particular column, kids, this particular column was added into it. Here you can see what is the logic behind this column. So I'm having gender and age already. So I'm having two variables. So let me see, if the gender is female and age is between 18 to 25, I will give number of kids is 1. If the gender is female and age is between 25 to 35, chances of having kids are 2. And if the gender is female and again age is between 35 to 45, chances of having kids is 3 plus. So I created 3 beds. Now what happens once this particular data was trained, ultimately the predicting outcome was 90% accuracy. And 90% accuracy means, what made that 90% accuracy? When you think, there was one very interesting thing here. Here, if anyone technically thinking will not be able to come up with an answer. So you have to have a domain knowledge. So why the prediction was becoming 90% because of adding one column was, during Titanic incident, the lifeboats was given to women's with kids. So if the number of kids I'm adding, ultimately I can identify this women had got lifeboat or not. So likewise, when you know that particular incident well, that is what we call it as the domain knowledge. When you know that particular incident well, you will be able to give them the right kind of predictive variable. So fine. This kind of algorithms or this kind of machine learning models or learnings are called supervised learning. That means you are predicting a column like name, age, gender, kids, survived. Likewise, these kinds of variables already have a column name. So you are able to predict it. So anything which is having a column name, if you are going to predict whether it is classification or regression, you know this column is this kind of data, that column is that kind of data. These kinds of machine learning models are called supervised learning. Fine. Now, the same data, let's take it. I have removed the columns. Here there is no column called ID. Here there is no column called name, nothing. It is only the data. So we don't even know what kind of data it is. If someone gets a data like this, they will be not knowing what kind of data it is. What is these column represents? So if I use this data on an algorithm, the algorithm will be able to bring certain levels of commonality and clusters. That means clusters are nothing but similar type of group of elements clubbing together are called clusters. Now, this kind of data doesn't require a column name. So when I put this particular data into an algorithm, it's able to cluster the data based on certain similarities and group them. Now, this kind of algorithms are called unsupervised learning. So we very well know that supervised and unsupervised are the core fundamental of any machine learning models. Once you find the cluster of this particular call, means three clusters we have identified. Now this can be considered into a supervised model. So cluster one is a column name, cluster two is a column second column, and cluster three is the third column. So the thing is like anything which is having a labeled data and you are going to predict a label in that particular data set is a supervised learning, and anything that doesn't have a label inside that, but we are going to find certain levels of similarities, we don't know what we are going to predict, that kind of learning is called unsupervised learning. Yes, now we have understood too much about machine learning and deep learning. Sorry, machine learning, supervised and unsupervised. Now let's see, as a person, first question which comes into your mind is, how can data benefit you? Next is, which tool should I use for data science? This is a common question. In the present day scenario, one very big problem which is happening is information overload. You can see, go outside and see, you can find a Dick and Harry in every place telling that they are having a data science course and all these things. Lot of people are having it. But some really take serious, some really makes just like any other courses what happened. This is going to happen exactly like what happened for computer science. So you should know that the data science have value if I can get a business outcome from that. So in order to get business outcome, should I go and learn advanced algorithms? No. Should I go and learn again data science? No. So how can you get benefit from data? This is where I always come up with something very simple. Start with something simple. So tools are important, but technique is everything in data science. With which tool you are going to use doesn't matter. Whether you know Python, R, SAP, SAS, it doesn't matter. If you are really strong in Excel, you can do a lot of things. So let's dive into it. Enough of theory. So let's take one example here. Meet Mike. Mike is a CEO of X e-com stores. So in order to build a reliable business, he has few requirements to the data science team to make better decisions. So Mike is a CEO. He is having an e-commerce store. Now you very well know that an e-commerce store generates a lot of data. So Mike really want to use his data science team in order to find a couple of things. So this is what typically a data scientist role will be. And decision makers, they come up with different questions, and answering their questions from the data is called data science. Fine. So let's see what is Mike's questions. So Mike's first question is like, can I find how better our advertisements and search engine marketing performance are? This is his first question. The next is, can I know what are the types of buyers in our e-com stores? And third one is, can I know how is people review about our latest X phone release? So these are three major concerns for Mike. So let's take it to the next level. So here, three questions which Mike came up are the business problems. Can I find how better our ads work? Can I know what are the types of buyers? Can I know how people's review across? So these three questions, you need to find where can I find the data for that. So advertisements, the first one, let's take. So in the first one, you can understand like data related to advertisements will be in your Google Analytics account. You can export it as a CSV format. Then next thing is understanding buyer's pattern. So these data will be there with our internal database where each transaction, which pages the visitors have visited and finally bought the products. Then third one is understanding about the how the reach of our new X phone across the market. So these three questions we have data also. So let's go one by one. So problem number one is performance of advertisements. You know very well, if you go to Google and search best colleges in Bangalore, you can see a lot of colleges come, but in the topmost, there will be one type of ads which will be there like best colleges XYZ, and it will be marked as ads. So when someone search for certain types of keyword, that keyword brings whichever ad which is related to that will bring in the topmost position. This is organic, that is a paid one. So in search engine, if you really want to make your college to come first, you go and talk to Google and say, hey Google, I want to buy this keyword called best colleges in Bangalore. So Google will price it pretty high because it's highly competitive keyword. Now, this particular word, Google is going to charge you around like each clicks, it can even go up to $100, $200 per impression also, if it is very hot keyword. So you are going to buy this keyword for next 2 or 10 days. But the thing is like you will get a lot of traffic and you get a lot of visitors. So likewise, this is called search engine marketing. So once if you get a Google Analytics account and Google AdSense account, or even say Google Ads, recently they have been renamed to Google Ads. If you go and buy certain levels of keywords. So here what happened is Mike has bought around 10-20 keywords and he is paying pretty much high every month for each keyword. And based on that, we can get a data like this. So here is the list of keywords. You can see low price tag, and there are other attributes which we can get it like CPA is like cost per action or cost per acquisition. CVR is nothing but conversion rate. CTR is like click through rate, and clicks, total number of clicks. CPC is cost per click, and impression is how much time the impression has occurred. That means an impression means not only click, when the visitor search something and if you are viewing that also, that's an impression. So this is a data which we get from our Google Ads account. Once we do any search engine marketing, like this kind of data will be generated, which we can export it to a CSV. So what data scientists from Jack's team did is like they took this particular data and used a very simple tool which is already available, which is there in every I hope most of people will be definitely having a tool which is called MS Excel. Fine. So in MS Excel, they did a small level of analysis and they did certain levels of conditional formatting. And here, certain levels of interesting patterns are occurring. So you can see here, airline travel insurance has a less CPA, but high CVR. CPA is nothing but cost per action. CVR is conversion rate. Now you can see here, airlines traffic insurance is giving us, my expense here is 1.98 cents only, but I have a good conversion of 0.68 here. And impression also is pretty much well. The greener it is, it's good. The red it is, it's higher, something which is concerning. So now let's go one by one. You can see low price hair, which is, you can come and see here. The next one, low price hair airlines. It's having a less CPA of 0.80, but a high impression. So here I'm spending more money. This is comparatively more, but impression also I'm getting less only. How to get flights insurance has low CPA and high impression. You can see this one. It is coming here. How to get flight insurance. It is only taking 1.58 and I'm getting an impression of like it's pretty much higher. So what happens here is that particular question is converting into a data science challenge where basic levels of analytics knowledge is required. Here I am not building a model. I'm not building a machine learning model or a deep learning model to understand and solve that particular business need. I use a simple tool of my choice to solve this problem. So now here is the sorted range. Once you sort based on CPA, and you can consider a couple of factors. Okay, some will be thinking like, okay, I want a higher CTR and higher CVR. They can sort this and get that particular thing. Now, based on overall this analysis, the top 5 words are really good words, which are giving good impressions. Same time, my cost is also pretty much optimal. So I understood and I got the solution for the first question. How is my ads performing? So now I can remove, for example, can you see here, check on luggage. I can say here it is, check on luggage. It's 9.11 is my cost per acquisition, but my impressions are pretty low. So I don't need to focus on that. Next time is, these are pretty much high impressions are there, but still the cost per acquisitions are higher. So it's not a good idea to spend on all these domains. I can only focus on good keywords, which is like this whiter color. These are less. See to it if the white color is more, and impression also. These are good keywords. These are good keywords, but the thing is like the cost per acquisitions are pretty much higher, and I'm not getting a high impression also. But you can see here 1.58. I'm getting, this is the impression. So first problem has been solved. Okay, now Mike has got a solution. What he needs to do, he needs to stop buying all other keywords and only focus on these keywords and spend more money onto that keywords. Next question is, Mike wants to know, like, what are the types of customers in my in my e-commerce or in my platform? What are the different types of customers? Can I know the high paying customers, high paying segment of customers? Can I find the price conscious customers or the quality conscious customers? So as a person who runs this business, if I'm knowing these different types of segments of customers, I can really focus them and give them the right kind of thing. Now you know very well that you people are using different networks. If you use Airtel or anything else, these days the ads and the same time the offers are coming customized. You will get a customized offer and your friend will be getting a different offer. So this is based on a type of segments. I mean, like a group of people whom I can really target and give them the right thing what they need. So for this, the data is there. Every e-commerce platform really takes these kinds of data, like willingness to switch, importance of price, and each row is one customer. And how is their interest towards loyalty and usage levels, ads awareness, sales promo response. Like this, they will be connecting around, there are millions of data points can be collected from a customer. Based on all these data points, can I come up with a conclusion? Can I come up with a segment where I really need to, use different types of targeting? So let's see. Simple thing is you can apply a k-mean algorithm, k-mean clustering. So what a k-mean clustering does is, when you take all this data and do a analysis onto it, you can find separate clusters of people. Can you see here the orange, the reddish color is one set of people, and the yellow is one set of people, and light blue and sky blue, two colors. So I get 4 different types of customer segments. Now my target can be, there is certain things which is similar among each group of people. That's why they are standing as a separate customers. If I am understanding that particular segment or that particular cluster, I can really focus and give them the right product what they want. If there is a high premium, premium customers, I can really give them the class A products and target them. There are someone who are very price conscious, I can give them the best deal and I can target them. So based on this is a kind of customer behavioral data where we are building a clusters. Now Mike really finds it useful, like, okay, now I understood there are different, these are the different types of customers where I can focus on. You might be knowing about, in the COVID-19 situation, government has come up with red zone, orange zone and green zone. It is because you could have clearly understood that each zone has certain similarities. That's why they split that zones. we are able to give them separate treatments. Same way, like a clustering problem, you can see different cluster comes in, and each clusters we can focus and give a separate what to say care for that. So this is the second problem. I hope now Mike is pretty much happy because he got his first one and second one's on. Next, third one. The third one is Mike really want to know how his products are performing across countries or across globe or different geographies, how it is working. So when this question comes in, ultimate place where we go is Mike's team is pretty much good. They go to social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc., and they pull out all the tweets which is related to that particular keyword. Consider hash X phones. Now, all the tweets which is being related to that is scraped from there, and that particular data is now run through a sentiment analysis. A sentiment analysis is nothing but there are different models in what to say NLP, natural language processing. That is like if you give a sentence into that particular function, just like how a function you use in MS Excel, if you pass that particular text data into it, it will clean away all the stop words and it finds the sentiment of it. It will understand whether that particular tweet is positive or negative or it's neutral. So these questions, we will be able to get it, and those whatever tweets they are being giving, these tweets can be converted into a sentiment. Now you can see I have scored all the tweets across this. Now taking it one step further, all the tweets will be having a geo tagging location. I mean, from which point, which location they have what to say posted it. Now I can understand sentiment across geographies. The same data, which after converting into positive, negative, and neutral sentiments, I can see here, like I have converted into a map, a chloropleth map, in which you can see PA and CA are the places where they are pretty much sad about this product. Rest of all the places in US, the what to say, the sentiment is pretty much neutral. Now Mike came to understand about these two places. Now I need to really emphasize and focus on these two places because they have a negative sentiment. I have to immediately focus on that particular type of what to say that what to say whatever segmentation of people or that group of people or that particular country people. I have to really focus there, so I can able to find what is going wrong there. Now we have understood Mike's three problems were solved using data. A data is like exactly like same what you see. For all these things, the basic fundamental tool which we use itself is MS Excel. We don't need to go and learn advanced things because data science is about you give a business outcome, and that should be really powerful. So when you take a small set of data, it is fine. You can do it in your MS Excel. But if it is more than that, that's where we face something called curse of dimensionality. That means a data which is huge and we are not able to do anything with it. That is the curse of dimensionality. Every day, different networks like Facebook, Uber, Twitter, all are generating terabytes of data. Now, customers or the organization which is belonging to these can really use this data in order to make right decisions. So data currently comes from different layers, that from CRM, ERP, IoT, social medias. Next, it converts into a proper formats like SQL, NoSQL, text data, media data, audio, video. And from there, it goes to different KPIs and correlations and time series. Then it comes to a business problem solution like customer segmentation, context. Then you take strategic changes. So till now we have understood about what are the ways a data can help. Now let's see how a data is in action. This is one particular most important thing which we have found out. Like after implementation of GST, HIV/AIDS transmission has reduced drastically. I hope most people might be a little confused. Like when we just went into a live session, a lot of people came up with different things like okay, what if the condom price have been dropped by the government, maybe because of that the HIV AIDS has been reduced. But when you look into the point of data, the data tells a much different story from that. So I hope most of people could have known about this thing. This is called an octroi. Most people from commerce and MBA background will be knowing about an octroi. Octroi is nothing but like before GST, every vehicles which is coming, which is moving from one state to another state, really needs to stand in a check post. That means state borders will be having central and custom tax, sales tax, different types of tax were there. So these lorries were forced to be what to say in the waiting point for more than 1 day or 2 day. This I have really seen this. If you go to Coimbatore to Kerala, there is a most famous check post called Valayar check post. There, if one vehicle goes and stuck, the next day only they will go out. And so what is a correlation here? So the thing is like when you take this particular problem and what are the things that can affect this? See, let's take across profession, like what are the ways the transmission of AIDS are there? Around 50% of transmission happens from the sex workers. The next highest people who transfer what to say take the infection are the one who are truck drivers. So during this octroi time, most of this check posts are highly sex workers active areas. So people get infected. I mean, like the truck drivers get infected, and they just go and infect it across their family. So this is how AIDS was really happening. And this was a very shocking fact. Like when they randomly tested around 50 drivers, close to 30 to 40% of people were having AIDS. So because of issues happen. But after the implementation of GST, it is a one tax. I'm not for pro Modi or against Modi, but I can say after the implementation of GST, now most of these trucks are not standing. They are keep on moving. The wheels are, their trucks are on the road always. So this waiting time has really reduced. That has significantly reduced the time and spread of HIV. Now, based on the data, can we see how shoppers move across shopping mall? So let me go into it. Here it is. So this is a pretty interesting model where this is like a data from a shopping mall. You know very well that before the before Geo and all these things were introduced, like we were very much dependent on. I hope can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Let me resume share. Screen share. Okay, I hope now you can see the screen. So this is the data from a shopping mall where initially when you go inside a shopping mall, you will be given a particular Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi will be given. So when you register to that particular Wi-Fi, ultimately your MAC ID is being registered there. Now based on this, let's see how people move across this particular shopping mall. You very well know that most people who go for a window shopping also directly or indirectly get connected to the same network, and you are being traced. So let's see most people who comes from outside. Here I'm coming to outside. Okay. So you can see people who come from outside, the thicker the line is, the more people move from that particular point. So you can see most of people goes to fresh products. Second highest people goes to general merchandise, and third highest are to the apparels. You very well know that most of people who are living nearby the shopping mall, they prefer to go for grocery shopping from the nearest mall only. So that's a reason you can see the most of people who comes to fresh products are the localites mostly, and second highest people are to the general merchandise. Okay, after they come from outside to fresh merchandise and products. Now next most important thing is from there the majority of people go to meats and poultry. Next to ready meals, dairy and beauty parlor, etc. Some, if you go to entertainment, From there also, most people go to fresh products. Finally, they go back. So likewise, when I'm going from one point to another, I can see different types of trends appearing here. But one very interesting trend which we can find here is like BWS. So this is a one type. This is a shop where most people comes at the last, and after coming to this shop, they decide like, let's finish the shopping and go outside. So when we are looking into BWS, we were thinking about like, what can be the possibilities. Now we can see near to that there is a clue that is nuts and snacks. Then we came to understand that BWS is nothing but beer and wine shop. So when someone comes into a shopping mall, they directly don't go there, because if they go there, they have to carry the bottles and walk across the entire mall. So they decide, let's go and do the last shopping. So what happens is like after doing all the shopping, they comes to the BWS. From there, they pick the bottles and immediately they decide, okay, my shopping is done, I'm going back. So you can see here, a data is telling a story when you ask the right question. Now let's come to the next one. Let's come back. So here we have seen. So now the next question is, can we see what people searches in Google? So this is something very interesting thing, that is like what people looks inside Google. So Google every time starts with a, wait a minute, let me open it. Let me share the screen. New share. Okay. 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 I hope you can see my screen. So when Google, whatever you go and search in Google, the most relevant thing, what is the frequently searched terms, etc., they come in the first. So every time different questions you ask into Google across, for example, same question asked by same type of people across uh, in a country, that particular keyword will be known to be as a trending keyword. So based on that, Google is having around four different versions. One is Indian version, that is google.co.in, and one is UK version, that is google.co.uk, and one is google.com, which is US, and google.sg. So recently, what happened is when someone start a search with how to, when someone search Google with how to, the next important thing which comes is how to use safe entry. You can see across all the country it is same, because after COVID situation come, majority of people want to know how to go safe entry. Fine. Next highest important priority thing for everyone are like how to wear a surgical mask. You can see across all the country it's same. Third one is how to change Zoom background. Now you very well know that across all the country, it is same. How to change the Zoom background. It is exactly same. Next, how to use Zoom. So what it does is like, you can very well understand because of the, what to say, COVID situation, everyone are forced to, what to say, because of the COVID situation, everyone are interested to, most of them are working from home and some of them are attending webinars like you all. So the biggest question is like how to use Zoom, how to make my background here. So these are certain levels of questions which people ask. So when you go and deeper drill into it, there are a lot of different interesting questions comes here. So this is one such good interesting question. You can see in India, the highest question is how do I convert to PDF? And it is same across UK also, how do I convert to PDF? And US also, how do I convert to PDF? And Singapore also, how do I convert to PDF? The next second highest religion which comes is how do I convert to Islam? This is across same across all. So now I can understand that PDF is the highest religion across all the country. This is the major, what to say, major thing which they really want to convert themselves to. So what happens? A data is telling a story here. Now, let me come back to the screen. So can we find right programmers across cities using data science? You know what, like there is a social network for all the programmers that's called GitHub. So if I really want, as a recruiter, if I really want to go and find a right programmer, yes, I can find it. How to do it? Let's see. So you can see a large, big cluster of lots of nodes here. Let's see, like, if this is nothing but it's a data which has been, it's a model which has been built based on the GitHub data across different people. In GitHub, how many people have written different types of languages, different types of contribution. Based on that, this model works. So how it works, it is like, you can see, I can go and search. I really want to find most of Python developers. I got it. And let's increase the size, a little gap also, I increase it. I want to find in Bangalore, different types of Python developers. I can see all these nodes are empty nodes. I mean, like, they are not connected with each other. So each node is one person. If you hover on it, you can see their name, the number of repository and all these things, all nodes. They all are independent developers where they don't have any connection with each other. But I can see one set of people who are really, the Cyan and all these people are pretty much highly connected people. I mean, so it's very clear that they are very strong team. I can really pull them out like this. So I got the separate set of people. Each node is one particular person and their influencers inside that. So this is a use case where you can use across different places. Let it be COVID situation, you know, the contact tracing is happening. When data is coming, you can identify who's an infected person, who's not an infected person, and who are the people who are connected with it. Like this, these kinds of models really help them to understand that kind of clusters. Now I can even go and search different things, like let me find JavaScript developers. I want to find it in any other place like Chennai. Yes, I got in Chennai, and I found a bigger the circle it is, that means he is very famous. It's Kiran. He is pretty much a good influencer. So the thing is, like a data science, we can solve such kind of problems. Now, let me come back. So this is one particular interesting use case. You may be seeing, like, this is a heat map of four different units of a company, a restaurant network. You can see all the four units. How are the performance? The redder it is, the performance is low. The greener it is, the performance is high. And the middle orange and yellow means it's median and moderate. You can see the unit 1 and unit 2 during their December's, January, February, all the performance are pretty poor, except few days like 30% of each. And unit 4 is significantly very much lower in performance comparing to all other days. But unit 3 is pretty much good. But you can see a very interesting pattern here. On all Wednesdays, the unit 3 performances are pretty poor. Same time, unit 4 performance are going up only on Wednesdays. So here there is some suspicion. So what happened here is, on unit 3, every Wednesdays, the person who's in the counter takes a half day and goes. So ultimately people move from that particular queue to the nearest unit, that is unit 4. That is the reason on unit 4, on that particular Wednesdays, you can find a pretty much good, interesting patterns across it. Now we have gone across sales, HR area and everything. Does birthdays make a difference? Yes, it makes. So this is based on the birth calendar of US births. You can see on US birth, this is like all Jan to December and 1 to 31st. It's a calendar map. To be a, what to say, superstitious. I mean, like, it's not a lucky day, so they don't prefer getting a 13th of month. The reason is, like, in US, 60% of births are C-section births. So when most of delivery happens based on doctors' advice, like if it is coming on a vacation or a holiday, they try to push one step ahead or one step back. So likewise, you can see a lot of interesting things. On Valentine's Day, you can see that number of births are very high. People consider getting birth on Valentine's Day is really good, but no one wants their kids to be born on April Fool's Day. And you can see after what to say, October, in November and December, births are pretty less. It is exactly showing us about a kind of situation all the births, rather than it's like a birth calendar, I can find it like a holiday calendar, because most of the universe is this much superstitious. Let's see how what is it, India is. You can see after August, September, there is after July, there is no birth. It's fully down. You can see a two different strange odd thing. And you can see on 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, you can find the births are pretty higher. Yes, the thing is very simple. Like May, June, July is a time for admission for kids. So when they want to put their kids into schools, they try to cook up their birthday numbers. So you know very well, when people cook up numbers, they cook up round numbers. So that's the reason 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, the birth are pretty higher. So these are all, there is a suspicion that these numbers are cook up numbers. So does it really affects their marks? Yes. This is the same kids marks happening here. So here you can see 5th, 10th, 15, 20 and 25th. The kids who are born on those days, their marks tend to be lower. The reason is when a kid is younger in age, just because they want to get an admission, they try to push their dates, date of births little forward and backward. And this young kids will be going and sitting with the already little more senior kids. Ultimately, that's where their marks really affects. So age difference really makes a sense there. So this is one particular very interesting thing. Like when you go and search in Google, like why is dash so? For example, why is Tamil Nadu so? Likewise, we did a search across all the different types of states in India, and this is what we got it. So why is Tamil Nadu against Hindi? Why is Kerala so? So why is Kerala so? Means it's God's own country. Now, if you go upper and say middle, why is Madhya Pradesh so poor? Why is Rajasthan as a desert? Why is Gujarat a dry state? So the thing is like here, the real trend of data comes and it gives a good story about a context about each states. So let me come to this point. Data science is only valuable if you are able to bring business outcomes. You can see there are different ways you can use data science, like recommendation engines, attribute modeling, price analytics, market mix model, customer segmentation, store product segmentation, demand forecasting, customer analytics, churn analytics, purchase likelihoods, cross-selling, upselling. So it's a plethora of different use cases you can come up with basic bare minimum approach. And here I just want to make it one thing very sure. Data science is not about machine learning and deep learning. You can see this is the entire ecosystem of a data science. You can see that ML code, that yellow small box is what majority of colleges and majority of institute, what to say, this courses, all they promote only that orange box. But data science have a bigger picture. So leaving that bigger picture and focusing on only that small picture will never make you a good data science or data science practitioner, I can say. So what I really say, there is one situation where a couple of students comes and tell like, I have finished this more than 5 to 6 course on data science, but I seriously don't know how to start with it. This is the problem. The problem is they go and train themselves on a tools, but they forget data science is not about tools, it's about techniques. So time for questions. And let me take this particular thing last. Before that, let me end my presentation with the key takes. Data science is not about machine learning and deep learning. The business outcomes is bigger than ML and DL and NLP. Which tool you use doesn't matter. And kindly I'll be sharing this particular link in the chat. You can take this link and give your feedbacks, and we are really expecting your feedbacks. And if you need more information, you can just reach to me to this ID, and I'm open for questions now. Hello. Okay, I will share the feedback form chat. Give me a second. Let me pick the feedback form. This is the yes, Grace, thank you. Great. So this is the feedback form which you really need to give your feedbacks. Once your feedbacks are being given, your certificates will be dispatched. So even you can unmute and you can ask your questions. So I'd be happy to help you out. How data science will be analysis and graphical. Data science is about, like, it's not about ML and DL. It's, as I said, like, you can use a simple visualization to solve a problem, or you can even use a complicated model to solve a problem, but it's about what the problem really means. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So any questions?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear.
I've posted 2 questions in your chat box. Kindly please look into that.
Yeah, chat box, it's actually populating faster. So can you ask the question, same question?
Let me check. Wait, sir.
Yes, ML is a subset of AI. Exactly. ML, deep learning, natural language processing, cognitive computing, everything is a subset of AI. Yes, very soon we are going to conduct a session on deep learning. Still, Dr. Okay, fine. Definitely. Next topic we'll discuss on semi-structured modeling and semi-supervised learning. Thank you. Yeah, data science really helped in COVID-19 situation. I think most of people could have been like last 2 weeks, you might have sit with a graph and seeing whether the graph is becoming flattening and all this thing. Exactly, that's data science. Because everyone understood the value of data science, and even the government was day to day tracking the users, and every day the number of cases happening. So ultimately, that's where the data, that's a greater testimony, I can say, for a data science. We all were looking into making the flat curve. It's purely data science. Multidimensional data is like there are different types of visualization which is available, which can go beyond more than 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional. You can take a color, size, orientation, and shape. Likewise, you can take different types of different types of attributes for displaying or visualizing a multidimensional data. Is there any application of game theory? Definitely, machine learning directly have a lot of impact on game theory, but not as a model point, but in the way when it gets married to artificial intelligence, definitely game theory plays a major role under data science stream. I would say, like, most people try to specialize in data science. I will say the core fundamental is you pick one domain and becomes very strong in that. The core fundamental is like the domain is the main thing other than anything else. If you know the domain you have little technical knowledge about handling basic statistics using any tool of your choice, then you are considered to be a good data scientist. Okay, the curse of dimensionality, a lot of people are asking, yes, that's a real problem because we have huge array of data, but we don't know how to use it and we can't even skip a data. So that's where we do a lot of dimensionality reduction methods in order to compress the data into one small scaled data, and based on that data, we do a lot of analysis. How to draw different graph for classification. Classification, you have some of the best graphs such as a decision tree. Blockchain impact on data science. Yes, blockchain is a different technology. I can say that is a separate, complete different technology. But data science right now evolving onto it. I'm not much into that area yet. What do you consider the most important tool for analysis? I feel the human brain. That's the most important tool for analysis and thinking little out of box thinking. The present scenario, how it can be used, which can, how does someone become a good data storyteller? Yeah, you become a good data storyteller if you're understanding facts from the data. You take a data and start asking questions to the data. Ultimately, if your question is right, you will get an answer there. That answer, if you make it a little more, little humorous, then ultimately people will listen to it. Data science impact on machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of data science, so it's not something bigger. And thank you. It came in how strong related to clustering. Yeah, K-mean clustering is pretty much commonly used algorithm for clustering of customers. Even we are very actively working on bringing these kinds of technology into MS Excel. So you don't need to go and search for different things. If there are add-ons which can be added into our MS Excel, ultimately that's where things become simpler. That is the most important thing we are working on these days. So we are trying to, as a Clever Insiders, we are trying to make the technology much easier for anyone to use it. I mean, irrespective of limitation on anything else, we want to bring those technologies exactly into your day-to-day using applications. So you don't need to again switch and go to something. What other programming language? Okay, I would suggest Python and R pretty much common these days. Whichever is tool of your choice, which is easy for you and more expressive, you can take it. Okay. Python is one such language which I really support because that's my language of my choice. What is the main quality of data practice? How to develop? Okay, it's about whichever data it is. If you sit in front of an Excel sheet, it's about how you slice and dice it and try to extract information from it. See, just consider yourself as a Sherlock Holmes. A Sherlock Holmes is like when he gets into any investigation, he goes clueless. So he starts collecting different clues and he connects the dots and he creates a story. Exactly, a data scientist role is about like a Sherlock Holmes. It's like, and next thing is, I always say it is like a private IAS officers. Like you have to know a lot of fact knowledge, and so then you can correlate with the data. No, best institution to learn data. I feel like what is this? So can I tell about Google Colab is nothing but Google Colab is just whatever. It's a platform. You might have known about Jupyter Notebook, which is used by most of data science practitioners. That has been hosted in Google Cloud, so you don't need to install it. You can directly use that. It's same whatever you get it in your local, but there Google is giving you the computation free. Data stream analysis, I would say recently Apache Kafka is a good framework for handling stream data, and collaborated with Sparks can really make a sense. What is a new algorithm implemented in data science? See, across data science, all the algorithms are already same. It's not more than 10, 20 algorithms, but all other algorithms are the combination of all these things. I mean, the ensemble of all these algorithms are new combination, different tunes. An algorithm is just like a radio. You can consider when a radio is there, ultimately if the signal knobs are properly tuned, it gives a good result. But if the tunes are little go, the noise increases. Likewise, an algorithm, multiple algorithms combines together to form new combinations. What is the maximum size of data to achieve maximum prediction? The size of data never matters in machine learning. It's about the quality of data, the right data points. Clever Insight, we are focused. We have our own platform which is called Neuron AI and Sparks, which is helping organization to drill into data and build all these kinds of models, whatever we are seeing in there. Certificates will be distributed once your feedbacks has been received. We will be mailing you the e-certificate, which you can attach into your LinkedIn profile, etc. Deep learning. Okay, deep learning connected with data science. See, machine learning, you are talking about a pen. Deep learning, you're talking about the deeper about the pen. For example, in machine learning, you're already given a data set which is in a structured format or a non-structured format, mostly like a tabular data. But in deep learning, it's about you give an image. The image automatically it captures the features from the image, and each features is like one column. So the thing is, like in machine learning, if you are handling 100 rows, in deep learning you are handling with millions of rows, which is auto generated. Okay, what are the application of data? Google Analytics. Definitely Google Analytics helps in understanding how is your customer behavior on your web application or your mobile application, to see from where the customer comes, where they are spending more time on, and whether they churn in, churn out, like that. Different things are there. Okay, what most challenging part of most challenging part of data scientist is everyday data becomes different. We are everyday data is growing like anything. We are getting different types of data, and we are practicing every day. Even myself, I call myself as a data practitioner than a data scientist, because it's like you have to practice every day on different data, and that's how you build your skill. Which tool do you use for visualization? I used MS Excel right now. Whatever you saw is mostly MS Excel. Certain things are JavaScript. Some websites starting data science. See, I would suggest like data science always lies in something called statistics. So if you are interested in statistics, kindly take it and understand the base fundament, not the extremes rock solid concept, but at least the base statistics is very much needed. What are the disadvantages of data scientists? Okay, yeah, there are a lot of disadvantages. Whatever prediction you do, it cannot be always correct. Maybe your model may be predicting 90% accuracy. That doesn't mean your model is correct, because the real world scenario is different. So it's a hypothetical thing, like where you need to know the data better. Most all the mathematical models how data science analytic course for beginner. Okay, how the data science will help in advertising. Definitely, like you saw about Mike, the use case, just example. Data science can be used in different areas. Even we ourselves really enjoying that process with our customers in handling the data science. Can we take advantage of the course for beginners? Yes, definitely you can take Google Analytics. It's a highly suggested one. And I say like tools are nothing, but technique is everything. Whichever tool it is, if you are able to drill down into deeper and able to build into insights from that, that's the core of it. There is a percentage of failure and success for all that. So the past analysis with less percentage also considered. Really essential. JavaScript is not essential for data science, but JavaScript helps you to build a good visualizations. I feel like your emphasis should be more on data rather than building that. R language is nothing but it is similar to your Excel, but the thing is like you can handle a scale of data a little more higher, and you can build prediction models like the supervised and unsupervised in R. But if you really want to deploy that model, I feel the same model should be built in Python. Tell me some data science learning sites. What is certification for support? I won't directly support any certification courses, but I would suggest take core fundamental courses as most important. Like be strong with your MS Excel skills. The latest 2016 MS Excel have really come up with a lot of interesting features for data analysis. Try to give more emphasis onto it. So knowledge, so concept like probabilities. So definitely probabilities are really important. It's core math skill with basic knowledge enough. Exactly. Mathematical knowledge on your basic linear algebra and calculus and statistics really makes a sense. Is making a GitHub profile necessary. Yeah. Getting a GitHub profile really help you to get a job because all the use cases will speak for you rather than your resume. So I hope I'm concluding my talk. Feel free to reach to me. Like I have shared my LinkedIn ID. Same way, kindly share your feedbacks. We will get back to you on upcoming sessions as well. Thank you. Thanks all.
Thank you, sir. Before we end the session, can I request our principal, Dr. Geeta M. Rajaram ma'am, to kindly address the audience?
Sure, sure.
Hi there. Thank you so much for a wonderful session and a lot of thought-provoking ideas. People asking you what are the tools to be used, and our certification courses available. And we're looking forward for some more sessions from your end.
Thank you.
Yeah, and at GIMS, this is a series of webinar sessions that we are conducting. We are thrilled with the kind of response we have received, whether it is impact of COVID-19 on the Indian economy, reviewing the RBI measures. We also had Mr. Ahmed Sheikh, who conducted a webinar on cyber security and career opportunities. And incidentally, I wish to share that we're conducting a variety of webinars. We also had sales and distribution strategies adopted by developing countries with special reference to SAARC nations. That was amazingly done by Mr. Raja Sundar. And finally, today, Mr. Baston Robbins, we are very, very thankful to you for having started this session. I would say, I would not say thank you for this session alone. I would keep my own thoughts that definitely would help all our students and our learning community, I would say. I request all the participants to stay tuned for more brilliant sessions and learning opportunities by some of our corporate friends and also our team at GIMS. If you're interested, please keep following GIMS on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram regularly for updates. I am also planning for a session on agile leadership, trying to work out things, and shortly we'll keep most of you updated. Kindly let us also know if you are interested in attending webinars on these kind. We believe in learning and sharing. Thanks once again. Over to you, Professor Shubhida.
Thank you, ma'am. A big thank you to Mr. Baston Robbins for considering our invite and conducting the session in spite of his busy schedule. The articulation of technical aspects, sir, in a very simple way with some excellent examples has certainly helped us in understanding these concepts. Thank you once again. Also would like to thank our principal in guiding us in organizing all these webinars. Thank you, ma'am. And certainly we thank all of you participants for attending and making this webinar a great success. We look forward to similar participation in all our further sessions. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.